Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Water Break Podcast. My name is Brittany. I am your host. I say good morning because it's super early this morning. I decided to do it kind of early. You might see some of those delicious bags that you get under your eyes in the morning, but I'm here and I'm excited to be here. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about me and a little bit about why I started the Water Break Podcast. So I got into podcasts because I heard about them, and there was a couple of podcasts that people just raved about, one being Crime Junkies. So I started listening to that. And as I started looking around and searching around podcasts, I absolutely love some of the women that I heard. I felt so connected to them. I felt like I was in the room with them, friends talking, like we connected. And I love that. And as I was listening to podcasts, I was also getting into life coaching. And it really opened my eyes about a lot of things of why I might have been so unhappy. I dove deep and realized a lot of things. I broke down a lot of walls that I had in my head. And I decided that I wanted to start a podcast. That was going to be my thing. I was excited to do it. I wanted to be there for those women that were at home lonely. Being a mom is so lonely. It can take so much away from you and give so little back at times, that having that connection with somebody out there, even if they're a stranger, you feel connected to them. And that's really all you need. Somebody to understand what you're going through and for you to relate to them through their accomplishments and their tragedies. And that's kind of what I wanted to do here. I wanted to connect with women everywhere to feel maybe that small bit of void inside themselves that is sad or lonely or feels hopeless. And originally, I wanted to play it safe with this podcast. I wanted to be very specific. I wanted it to be easy so I wouldn't have to be vulnerable on here. And so I was going to interview women about their birth stories. And I kind of made a list and I chatted with a lot of women about their birth stories. When they talk to me about these stories, the problem is I get really fired up about these birth stories because as a nurse, I know that there are so many rights that, in my opinion, are taken away when a woman goes in there. And there's a lot of interventions that go on that are unnecessary, again, in my opinion. And so hearing how so many women these days have such traumatic experiences, I wanted to be a part of that. And I guess I just want to change it. But after thinking about it for a long time, I know that it might not come across as uplifting and fulfilling. It might just come across as feeling wronged. And that is one thing that I do not want. I don't want women or me, I don't want to live my life knowing that I cannot control it, that I can't make choices in my life that matter. I want to be the one in charge of my life. I don't want other people being in charge and, steering the wheel of my life. I want to be in charge. And I really want that for other women as well. And so I feel like having relatable, entertaining content would be so much better. And I have come up with so many ideas and topics, just fun things to talk about and things that have really changed my life or had an impact on my life. And I know that it can be super busy for me when it came to wanting to hang out with friends. There, especially after being married, it's like a complete cutoff. After you get married, it's like you don't hang out with anyone anymore. It's you and your husband, and that's it. You can hang out with him. Of course you want to. He's like your best friend ever. But sometimes it's nice to have a girls' night, and it is like pulling teeth to get women together. I don't even know what that's about, but that's just the deal these days, especially if you add on kids. It's never going to happen. It doesn't happen. And so a podcast for me, and what I want for this podcast, is to really have an opportunity for women that don't get together, that we can come together as a community and talk about things that are valuable and important and impact us. Okay, the last section that I wanted to do that I thought would be kind of fun, and maybe you don't think it's fun, but I think it's fun. So one interesting thing about me is I absolutely love roller coasters. So as a kid growing up, we went on vacation a lot. My dad was in the military, so he always got a good deal. And I loved all the roller coasters. I loved all the rides. I loved the thrill. I remember going to Disneyland, and they had one of those super high dropping rides where you just like shoot up super fast and then you just drop. I was all in for that, and I got on that ride and I had the time of my life. It was the scariest ride I had ever been. Wish that somebody would go with me to Six Flags or to the Lagoon so that I could ride all those rides. Number 2, the ocean is for sure my number one fear. The idea of drowning, it literally gives me chills. I can't, if I let my brain think about it too much, it seriously freaks me out. When I watch movies where there's somebody that's scuba diving or underwater and they can't get up for air, I can't even watch the screen. It is so cringy for me. It literally gives me nightmares. Number 3, one of the traditions that my family used to do during Christmas time, which I think is so amazing, and it was so fun, especially as a kid, we dressed up as elves, and my dad dressed up as Santa Claus, legit Santa Claus. And my mom would drive us around to all the families in the neighborhood, and we would surprise them about a week before Christmas or so, give them cookies or candy canes, whatever we had. And my dad would knock on the doors and literally act like he was Santa Claus. And the kids would freak. Some would cry, some would hug him, some would run away. It was so great. Number 4, one thing I was thinking about that I would change about myself is I wish that I could grow 5 inches. My husband is 6'1" and I'm 5'4", so we have quite a bit of a difference. If I could grow 5 more inches, then when I kiss him, I don't have to like crank my neck so far back. It gives me a strain sometimes. It is so hard being short sometimes with a tall husband. Ladies out there that can relate to me, I feel you. And I wish that I could be 5 more inches taller. And so when I wear heels, it is like a dream. It's a dream. Number 6, my husband got me into tennis. So he played in high school, and we started watching the tennis tournaments for a while now. Ever since I think that we've been married, we have watched the tennis tournaments, and I have always wanted to go. And every single time I look online to see when we could go, because we want to go to the California one, because there's one in California, one in New York that they have usually. And every time I get online to buy tickets, they are so expensive. And that is seriously one of my dreams. I want to go and watch tennis for a week straight. I don't know how long it is, but maybe just the quarterfinals and the semifinals and the finals. But I want to go to a tennis tournament so bad. And I never was interested even in tennis at all until I met him. And it's my favorite sport to watch. I have to be honest. I hate football. I think it's the dumbest sport. It's so boring to me. It's like $1 billion industry that I think is lame. They only have football here in the US. You don't even need athletic abilities to be in football. The quarterback for sure has to catch a ball and run really fast. I don't know. I just don't think that you need skill for that. Number 7, I have a secret hobby that I really, really like, but I'm horrible at it. It's called dancing. I love to dance on all the YouTube videos when they show you how to do a routine and they show you all the cool moves they have. Honestly, I could watch any dances. I love to learn how to dance. You know how some people, they dance and they do all the moves and you're just like, whoa, that is bad. They can't get it. That's me right here. That's me. So I don't like to dance in front of anybody, but man, is it entertaining. Number 8, one thing I wish that someone could have told me, maybe in high school, maybe in college, is it's okay to do anything you want. When I grew up, I had this very black and white, right and wrong idea in my mind that anything that I thought was wrong was like the worst thing that I could ever do. And everything that's right, it felt relief to do it. And it prevented me from doing so many things and getting into so many hobbies and interests and really being my true self and understanding who my true self was. If I could have told myself back then, it's okay to just be and figure out who you are and just be that human, I would tell her that. Really, my husband is the one that totally changed everything for me. He loved me unconditionally, no matter what I did. We would have conversations about things that I would do or say. And even when he would get frustrated, he still loved me so much unconditionally. There was no conditions to his love. He was so selfless and loving and caring. And I felt like I could finally be comfortable with somebody. And he understood me so well. Number 9, I have to share with you guys my greatest act of service anyone has ever done for me. And I just feel that it is important to just share with the world. Is after I had my second baby, my mom was in California. So I was there with my husband and my 2-year-old. And I was going into labor and I knew it. And my husband called up his mom, my mother-in-law. She dropped everything and drove 3 hours to where we were living. And her husband stayed in her house for probably 3 days, maybe more. It was probably 3 days. They came super late at night. They slept with my daughter when we went to the hospital. And they took care of her. They took her out. They fed her. They bought her clothes and toys. They even cleaned our entire house. They replenished so many things that we were running out of, made us food, brought us food. After I had my baby and came home, they just played with Isla and they took pictures and they cared for her when she was, a newborn baby coming home. She was worried and scared and they were there for her. And it brought so much joy to my heart. They knew exactly what we needed. And I literally cried for like several weeks thinking about what they had done. And I was very hormonal, of course, but you guys, if there is anything that you could do for anybody, it is that. I mean, I'm not saying to do that with every person, but if there is something that somebody is in need of, please, please, please reach out to them. It is so meaningful. Number 10, if I could live anywhere in the whole world, and I've only traveled to a few places. I haven't ever been out of the country, so I don't 100% know, but of all the places that I've been, I seriously would choose this place, this little tiny town. I don't know what it is about it, but all growing up, I had a house. And even growing up, I guess I felt that it was home because I really had no choice in the matter. Once I moved away, I always wanted to get out. I always wanted change. I never felt like any place was actually home. I always felt like we were always going to be moving in 1 to 2 years, and that was just it. That's the way it was going to be. That's how I was always going to feel. And once we came here and visited, and we had the thoughts to maybe possibly stay here, everything clicked for me. We've been here for almost a year now, and I have literally no desire to even travel. I love being here. I love being home. I love this little town, even though it is so different from being in a big town, which is where I lived my entire life. But I really would choose it. It's really about where you are in your head, for sure. Once you feel like you're at home in your heart, you can be at home anywhere. So I just wanted to share those with you. I had so much fun coming up with these. I hope you guys share some fun, little interesting facts about yourself with me on Instagram. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you guys later. Bye.